hit here. Balls. All right, Evergreen downtown. Definitely got to be careful with pedestrians and people parking. I think they'd put some slow chargers in up here along the fence or something. Well, that was Evergreen. Sometimes there's elk that sit down here. It's a big meadow and it's kind of hard to see from this side. Back and down the right there. All right. Now we should have switched over to video number 2. This is Evergreen down to Morrison. I'll get elk in there sometimes. I don't see elk. People walking. So this is a good little drive. There's a few houses here to begin with, right off the road, and then there's a couple of towns along the way that have more houses right on the road. But you can tell these places are pretty big here on the right. Fun stuff. Let's hope the sound comes out okay on this one. I could use there's a bigger windsock, but I don't know if I want to muffler down that bad. Well, it's funny how they BGI does it. The black one is the medium one, and there's a black with gray in the fuzz for the bigger one. You can see the creek here running down. So everybody living on this right side's got to cross the creek to get in, which kind of limits your deal. There's some tiny little houses. It's our first little town, Kittredge. This used to be the cheaper place to live instead of Evergreen, but I think that's out the window now because everybody lives here. It's a nice little town. Got houses pretty far off the road, left and right. Good steak place if you want steak. Black Hat Cattle Company. A little pricey, but it's pretty good. Just in this area alone, I'll probably be able to do 4 or 5 videos between the car and the bike. Okay, if you take a right here, that takes us back to 285. And down here by the water treatment plant, if you take a left, dun dun dun, here, if you take this left up and around, it bypasses the rest of Evergreen and pops you out uh, kind of over by the highway, not too far from the highway. A nice park there to the right, usually pretty full. In the summertime, it's hard to get into. You can walk over here, there's a couple of barbecue things on that dealy bubber there. Lots of hiking in this area if you like to hike. For Gulch, that gulch is what that road follows that I pointed out a minute ago, all the way over to the other side. Some more small cottages in the hills here. More hiking, picnicking. Another cottage here on the right. They've been working on their roof now for a week or so. Motorcycle. Yay. He's having fun. Can't beat the view for a quiet little drive, not too far from the house. More hiking. This is the top side of Lair of the Bear. Sad motorcycle. Stuck behind a truck. So you can park there or park down in the mostly bottom or farther bottom. You can hike all the way down here. It's a good little walk. Not too challenging. Mostly flat. Once you get down here a bit, though, you can, if you wanted to, take off up the mountain, and it's a little more difficult. There's an event building right here. If you take this little road backwards, weddings and stuff. Pretty cool back there. You can see the trail down there on the bottom. I don't know if the camera will be able to see it though. And then you come through here, and it's fairly easy to exceed the speed limit by a lot. It's fun. Just have to be careful. That was a policeman. You can tell because there's no racks on top of the Explorers. Personal ones have the racks. Police do not. So down here to the right is the big parking lot for Lair of the Bear. There's several ways to hike out of this. And then that gets filled up pretty bad, and then people try to park up here along the road. And they pinch the road on pretty bad. And that's the other reason why you got to slow down on this side. Give people a chance to see you. And then the other small parking lot is way down here around the corner. A little further. Okay, right over the edge here is where the parking lot is. The road is the next little indent down here. Pretty tough to see because it's, unless you know it's there, that little road right there. Then we're in Idledale. And then the next ride, I don't want to take the car this way, but this little road looking thing to the left here is the other motorcycle ride, and that takes you over to I-70 as well. Usually there's lots of elk back in that meadow as well. Another quaint little town. Almost to the bottom. Once we get to the bottom, right before we get into Morrison and Red Rocks, they do a few musical things a year. There's a trailhead that you can park and hike on the property. Then there's an entrance as well, I think to the ticket box or something. This guy on the left used to have a mannequin out here waving just because he's so close to the fence. I don't see it anymore. It's usually sitting right there on the corner. Looks like the creek's moving okay. They were saying a lot of our snowpack is evaporating before it actually melts because of all the dust and the snow this year. So that's kind of sad. So our runoff won't be quite as heavy. So we're about 2/3 the way down towards Morrison now. Definitely got to do this on the bike. It's a little more spirited. Like I said, if I can get the microphone to work in the helmet, that'll be fun. There used to be lots of little places to pull out, park if you were so inclined with your honey. My first wife and I have been up here a couple times. It's kind of fun to hang out in the summertime. Watch the stars, that kind of thing. See, we're getting closer to town. The trees aren't quite what they were. A lot of cottonwoods down in that creek area. Creek. We're getting close. 69 degrees. Definitely warmed up coming down. There can be as much as 10 degrees difference between Evergreen and Morrison. Oh, got a biker. Here we've got to be careful passing bicycles. We got to give them as much space as you can and at least 3 feet so we don't spook them or, you know, run them over. Doesn't do the bottom of my car any good if they're underneath there banging on it. So he's moving along pretty good. He's doing almost 26 miles an hour. On the motorcycle, it's easy to get around these guys. Car, it's a little harder because I can't see enough in front. Not a fan of having a head-on collision. All right, we'll get around him. He's going to catch up to us, though. My speed limit's going to drop pretty heavy down here. All right, there's the sign. Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater, entrance 2. This first one is, like I said, a trailhead. You can park and walk up, hike up. Oh, look at that big old chicken up on the hill. And then you get down here into town. They dropped the speed limit hard. They must mean it because they put it in twice. So you make that left and go up and get into the park itself. This is Morrison. Oh, it's a mini ruby. Tiny ruby? Tiny ruby. You ever come here, if you park on the street, you gotta pay to park. They used to have their own police force, but I guess they couldn't afford it anymore, so now the sheriff's department watches these guys, and there's a speed camera back here behind me that likes to give out tickets. This van must be wanting to turn left. Yep, there goes the bicycler. Still a green light for us. At the stoplight, that's a one-way coming down the hill from I-70. Really got to watch it here. People just step out from behind vehicles. They're crazy. Ooh, there's a lot of bikers. Nice. So you can't turn there, so what you do is you make a left here where that bicycle just went. And that puts you on that road to take you up to I-70. And there you go. That was pretty much the end of town. So we'll end it there. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope the sound was good. We'll see. Talk to you later. Bye-bye now.